Does his face look like it's been to the fountain of youth?
Depends on the light.
Captain Jack Sparrow searches for eternal life and a ship to call his own in Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides.
If I do not make it to the fountain, neither will you.
Held captive by a long-lost friend working for the fearsome pirate Blackbeard, Jack is soon caught in a desperate race to the fabled Fountain of Youth.
The fountain is the prize.
But when he comes face to face with his own mortality, Jack is forced to choose between his own survival and the safety of others.
What a game.
So welcome back to this second season of Just Seen It. Some of the behind-the-camera folks have staged a mutiny,
That's right.
as it were, which I guess is appropriate for this week's film, which is Pirates of the Caribbean 4, also known as On Stranger Tides. So I want to welcome to the set Jessica Sutherland, our co-producer, director Liz Manishill, another co-producer Dennis Costello, and our creator and showrunner David Friedman.
You're all fired. Thanks, I
Charming.
There you go.
So,
clean your desk out.
Our topic for today is Pirates of the Caribbean 4. We've all just seen it, so who wants to start?
Oh, I will.
Jess.
Oh, she will.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never seen any of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
None of them.
Wait, how is that possible?
Well, I've seen one now.
Okay.
All right.
Tell us about it.
I'm pretty sure I was able to figure it out. Pirate means ship. Pirate gets a job to go get a ship, gets distracted by girl, and is supposed to learn about what really matters in life, but actually learns nothing.
There should be a captain in there somewhere.
This is a pirates movie. Okay? It doesn't really have to do anything other than have a simple, clear story that's a clothesline to hang all of the fun action sequences, the things that we expect from a pirate movie, right? What does a good pirate movie have to give you? Well, it has to have sword fights. It has to have a ship battle. It has to have romance. And it has to have a story that kind of folds it all in and sweeps you along so you're not thinking about how nonsensical it is.
But just gets out of the way.
And just gets out of the way, exactly. The problem is, the movie doesn't deliver on enough of those things. It has sword fights, yeah, but there's no ship battle. How can you not have cannons in a pirate movie?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
But then
can't-
this
I
is
can't
the
agree
question.
with
Is this a case of too much sequelitis?
Yes, it is. And I've actually seen all 4 movies, and let me just say, nothing new in this movie. And after the first half an hour, I was like, been there, done that, seen it. I disconnected.
All right, fair enough. Clearly, there are some heavyweights here. There's Johnny Depp doing his Keith Richards,
shtick.
slightly fey, pirate thing.
Wearing more eyeliner than a 5th grader who broke into her mom's makeup box.
But then we also have Jeffrey Rush, who's also a heavyweight, and then replacing Keira Knightley is Penelope Cruz, all buxom and piratey. How do we feel about this cast?
Jeffrey Rush can roll out of bed, and I would just applaud because I think
agree.
he's amazing.
Where's the harm in joining the winning side?
But is he used well in this movie?
No.
Well, no, the script is bad, but the performances are good. The film has a budget to get an amazing cast, and it does. But they're underutilized, but not because of performance, but because of script.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
hold it. I think that they're underutilized, but really Johnny Depp, who plays Captain Jack Sparrow, and Angelica, who's played by Penelope Cruz, for the whole movie, all they did for me, they were an elderly Jewish couple who fought the entire movie.
You might be better off you just...
I would see that, though, Jews on the high seas.
Really? Okay. I'll just be quiet then. Go ahead.
The thing is Penelope Cruz and Johnny Depp having sexual tension is not something that we've never seen before. They did it in Blow, and I mean, if anything, that was super passion taken to the extreme.
They were good in Blow.
Yes,
But that's his thing. I mean, he's a castrated pirate. You look at the first movie, you look at
so
the
you-
love device with Keira Knightley. There was no chemistry between the two. He's unable to commit. He's a commitment phobic alcoholic.
So, or maybe, you want to defend Johnny Depp. Does anybody, Ian McShane?
Ian McShane played Blackbeard, and he was interesting and menacing, but he was new and different, which is why the rest of the movie was so boring.
Steals
because
every scene.
You're absolutely right. He steals every scene he's in.
Perfect.
And I'm a huge Pirates of the Caribbean fan. I've seen all 4 movies, and nothing new in this movie except Ian McShane. And that's why when he was on the screen, I was like, okay, this is moderately interesting. And then when he was gone, it was just like, oh.
Well, don't forget the mermaids.
This is the one area where Rob Marshall really shows his stuff.
The director.
The director. Everything that he's had to work with has pretty much been a Pirates of the Caribbean formula.
There's a
but
Disney corporate machinery that's going into play, yeah.
Exactly, but the mermaids are new, and the sequence where the mermaids are introduced is really the only one stunning sequence in the entire film.
Absolutely.
And these are badass, fanged succubus mermaids.
The mermaids were so beautiful, and I agree with you, Dennis. That opening sequence where we first meet the mermaids and really see this new mythology surrounding them was absolutely fantastic.
Then do we chalk this up to our director, Rob Marshall, who, is a fine pedigree. He directed the Academy Award-winning Chicago. Does he hit the mark here?
Where Marshall fails, in my opinion, is with the romance between Depp and Cruz, because these are two people that, as Jessica has mentioned, have proven they can work well together.
Smoking hot.
Yeah.
And they have nothing in this
Nothing
movie.
here.
And I just wonder, how the hell does that happen?
One of the things that a summer movie has to do is deliver in terms of action sequences, sound, special effects. Does this movie save itself, at least on those terms?
Well, I just think the art direction, the cinematography was spot on. It was beautiful. And you see the Fountain of Youth. It is gorgeous. It's like a classical painting. I mean, yes, again, to what end? If it's not supported by any substance, then we don't really care. But it gave me something to look at.
Cinematography is beautiful. But then it's hobbled to this cheesy 3D.
I'm glad you brought that up.
3D, watching a 3D movie is like taking a look at famous paintings through the Fisher-Price Viewmaster. Okay? It cheapens everything and makes them childish. And I think that it totally undercuts anything that the DP tries to bring.
I think that everything that needs to be said about this movie has already been said.
And
And I cringe when I say this, but I think it's time to take it to a vote. So go ahead and take your tickets. All right. Jess.
So this is my first Pirates of the Caribbean movie that I've ever seen, and it will definitely be the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie that I ever see. Maybe I should have started at number 1, and I would have wanted to see 3 more, but now I have no need for this movie. Skip it.
And Liz.
The movie was bad, but it wasn't as bad as Sanctum. And I need to see all the movies in the series. So I say stream it.
David.
Me, thank you. I don't need to spend 2.5 hours watching my Aunt Molly and Uncle Bernie fight. And so I would say skip it, but this movie was so bad, you should treat it like scurvy and don't even touch it.
And then Dennis, put this one to bed.
Well, I really feel bad for the Pirates fan because they deserved a fun, good movie that gave you Captain Jack and romance and ship battles and sword fights, and that's not this movie. Skip it.
So it looks like we have a half ticket, which is a skip it for Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. All right,
I'll
chin
chin
chin.
to that.
Arrgh.